Metro has unlimited 5G for just $25.
And a free Samsung Galaxy 5G. It's perfect.
You're perfect.
Fuck is with this shit? Hello, everybody. It's 10 o'clock p.m. Y'all know what time it is. It is the Midnight Run. And as always, it's me. It's that VINCE. Let's get the lights on, folks. Hope everyone's doing well tonight. Yes, I'm aware of Vegan Gains. He's a little bit under the weather as usual. Maybe he has hepatitis or something. Who knows? Or a staph infection. Or a sourdough yeast infection. Doesn't matter to me. Now, I'm a little bit soused from last night, obviously. But, you know, the best way to take care of alcohol is more alcohol, you know. So I got myself a little bit of brandy. Got my hand-rolled Nicaraguan cigar. Some fresh espresso coffee. And, of course, a little bit of that fresh filtered water, you know. So we're all ready tonight. I'm just joking, folks. Even though I partied pretty hard last night, I'm perfectly fine. So, how are you folks doing tonight? No, I'm not going to call Dr. Huge on here. He's an idiot, you know. And I know John's mad at me for saying that there, but, you know, I call, like I said before, I got to call a spade a spade. What's up, Andrew? How's it going there? Hello, Joel Teen, Athens, everybody else here. Sorry I didn't post the the midnight run scheduled video there, but I put it up at the last minute. But I'm glad you folks remembered that we have a show every Friday at 10 o'clock p.m. No, I am not white girl drunk, you know. Nope, not at all. Still a little banged up a little bit there, but yeah. Hey, but that's where his swordfish is, you know. I didn't even use my challenge coin neither. Hey, Tater Tot, what's up? Will I react to stuff tonight? I might. It seemed to work well there. As far as that's concerned, it does take up a lot of time there and a lot of bandwidth. Fortunately, it didn't crash that last one there, but that was in the afternoon. At nighttime, usually bandwidth is a lot more used at home. That's where the difference is going to be. Did I get any birthday freebies? Well, my mom got me a gift card. I think on the birthday run, I think only Aaron P., you know, donated $1 and Jacob donated $5. So as far as the birthday run is concerned, I got a total of $6, you know. But like I said, I do these live streams not for money. It's nice to get money there, but, you know, I do it for the peoples. It definitely ain't for money. And if folks, I've already explained, if you're thinking it's for views, remember, I only get $1.86 for every 1,000 views. I'll worry more about the other channel, of course. So, in any event, 5 Bezo pills. Are you crazy? You can't take that stuff, Athens. You better cut that out. What are you trying to do? Get Bill Cosby drunk tonight? That's gonna knock you out. Did I bring home any men last night? Nope. No men were penetrated last night. The singer man didn't contact me for my birthday, and I didn't expect them to. He didn't even wish me a happy birthday on Facebook, you know. My ex-boyfriends did. Ex-husband didn't, but, you know. Like I said, it really all depends, folks. I don't really look and see who wishes me a happy birthday for the most part. The people that actually mattered actually wish me a happy birthday, you know. So, I don't keep tab. It's hard. It's pretty easy to keep tabs on 2 donations there, Broteen. So, like I said, I ain't worried about that, you know. I got some serious dingleberries. Don't know what you mean by that. You'll have to be more specific. But yeah, no freebies. Other than that, it's been pretty uneventful. Some sort of web issue with the supplier, so I can't place any orders for any stuff tonight. It's kind of weird. Did I dress up often in a suit and tie? No, I didn't go to the Swordfish with a tie. It's like 80 degrees out. I went with some shorts and a nice polo. You know, you can't wear a suit if it's like 80 degrees. He said he knew it was my birthday. Oh, that's nice of him. That is awful nice. Thoughts about Tragilli calling Singerman a rat in his video about blessing Abadu. Well, he did fire him from Redcon. But as far as Tragilli is concerned, he's just trying to start some stuff, you know. You know, if you get his guy's shtick there, you know, he starts stuff in order to get views. And he says some very polemist stuff there, so. Hey, we can't talk about the Jews right now. It is Passover until Monday. So that's probably why, if anything, that's probably why Aaron didn't wish me a happy birthday, because neither did Ron or any other people, you know. Could have been for Passover, but like I said, again, it doesn't make any difference. Thank you, Serratus. Appreciate the birthday. You're in the sauna at the folks' house? Oh, man, I could sure use that right now there, that's for sure. Just relax to the max. Well, Andrew, if I wore a suit at the Swordfish, I definitely would have looked out of place. You can't wear that stuff in this type of weather, you know, you'll burn up. Yeah, Dr. Huge always tells a different story each and every time. Is Dave Palumbo on my Deadpool list? I don't have a Deadpool list. I've always thought those things were kind of hard to do, just try to predict who's going to die next. Yeah, it's kind of creepy. What is my lifetime max deadlift? I know I've deadlift over 400 pounds, but I've never kept up with numbers. Remember, I was a bodybuilder, not a power lifter. Yeah, there's people that'll wear a suit no matter how hot it is or so forth. There are certain suits that you can wear in the summertime, like a linen suit. But that's not one I'm going to be wearing. Shorts, polo, drivers, loafers. That works. Blaha wants to be a musician. I didn't know he had any artistic skills or anything.
Can you react to this?
Joltine with a $2 donation. What is it anyway? Let's see. Why is that not showing up on... Oh, you donated through... let's see if I could type it in. Unless I typed it wrong, I don't think so. It says this video is not available anymore. Yeah, it's saying this video is not available anymore, so, but of course I manually typed it. You'll probably want to put the link in the chat itself there, because when it comes to the donations, if you use that, it's not going to show up. So just put a link in there, and then put in the donation. But again, thanks for the donation. Because chances are, I don't think I typed it in wrong, but, That was not a pink shirt, that was royal purple, actually. If I got pink shirts, if I have a pink shirt on, I'm gonna say it is, but that was royal purple. Nah, no Latino twinks for the birthday or anything. For 5 million, you got to spend 24 hours of. Probably hang out with Collie Muscle there. What if Jason wanted to meet up at the Swordfish? They wouldn't allow him in there. No nutcases. He would also have to know where the building is, too. Yeah, I've seen Fitness Feuds. Stupid channel. Just stupid. I may not know that many YouTube channels, but I do know some of them there, and they're dumb. Are you surprised that people that did Leo didn't just kill Tony and turn him into some sort of curried hash to get rid of him and feed the poor? I mean, I think they have burial traditions or so. So I don't think they're going to do something like that. That's kind of gross, actually. Let's see. Veganism exposed. Part 3 of what? Yeah. I don't see a part 3 of anything. Would I sleep with Kali Muscle for $100,000? I wouldn't sleep with him for $1 million. Remember, folks, it's your reputation there. And besides, I already have that. Sort of. Would Jay Masters be allowed at the Swordfish? No. He would be thrown out if he comes in drunk. What's up, Lamar? How you doing? It's time to get lit, folks. His second recent show, I mean, that's like 15 minutes. That would take up half of our show, Joel. Come on, man, really. We'll have to set up a separate day to where we can do reaction videos. You know, if I was running like a 6-hour live stream, that's one thing, you know. I mean, it took me 45 minutes just to review Tony Hughes' video, and that was only like that was actually a little shorter than that once I cut it. Oh, just typical brandy tonight there, Serratus. Have I checked the kitchen at the Swordfish? I don't need to check the kitchen at the Swordfish. It's going to always be up to the standards. Otherwise, it wouldn't be the Swordfish. Vegan Gains? Well, he doesn't like liquor. I mean, he would be allowed there. I don't see why not. He wouldn't be someone that would walk in drunk or on drugs or anything. But since he doesn't drink liquor, he would have to dress a little bit better than what he is. He couldn't walk in with that funky-ass pullover. And he'd probably complain about the pork rolls and the chicken wings and the bone marrow. So, as well as the dead moose on the wall, the moose head and the deer head and stuff like that. He would definitely object to it. Were you ever concerned about Jay Masters doxing me? I've been doxed before numerous times, Truth One, so not really. I mean, I got outed as being gay, so I mean, I don't think it can get any worse than that. Well, Tater Tot, it's one thing to stay sober. It's another thing to stay sober. So we'll see whether he stays sober. I seriously doubt it. Alcoholism is quite addictive. KCB, I was never pissed at Jay Masters, you know. I mean, this is the piss here, you know what I'm saying? This is the Genoverse. We're piss troopers. We're freaks. We don't care about them.
Break the rap.
$2 donation. Could you put the link in the top chat as well? Better not be cursing anyway, so, you know. Well, between reviewing and everything like that and stopping the video, Joel, usually it would run 20 minutes, but you need to actually put the actual link in the chat itself there. When you put it in the donations, I can't see it. Thoughts on George Lopez being racist against fellow Latinos? I mean, his job is a comedian, but he speaks some truth actually in that. I did. You can't put it there? Alright, I'll try to type it out again here. But like I said, we're not exactly a reviews channel of some type there, you know. I appreciate the donation, but you have to understand the limitations of things here. Because I'm not set up to review things here, you know.
It's everything you wished for. Your site traffic is skyrocketing. Until this
Alright,
happens.
let's take a listen.
Gang in the city boys, I call it Mazel Town.
Sucks. But again, thanks for the donation there. That really sucks. You should listen to some good jazz or something, you know. But no more reviewing videos. I'll set it up one day to where we can separately review videos. You wouldn't have to pay anything for it neither. So. Pugman, what's up, man? Hope you're doing well. Quick pump, I turned 46, actually. Did you think I can hide being gay forever? I wasn't trying to hide it. I was, you know, I like keeping my business being my business there, you know. I think I've mentioned before, I don't go around waving around a rainbow flag or anything. But I mean, I was already married anyway, so that was the bigger issue itself. I'm not gonna ban Jolteen. He put in a donation there, you know. I mean, I wouldn't ban him anyway, no matter what he does, or any of you guys. Folks, I don't do bans, okay? YouTube may cut your comments, and they may ban your stuff like the other fake vegan gains for showing, you know, naked nude pictures, but I'm not gonna do any of that. That's a waste of my time. That's a big waste of my time. Oh, Pugman, I did. I just typed it out directly. I just can't copy and paste from the mini feed. It doesn't allow me to. But I typed it out and it came up right. I think you do have to type them out. Can Big Rob Fitness? No. No swordfish for Big Rob Fitness. How did I lose all my hair? Genetics. Hey, Strange Clouds. I hope you're doing well. What's with the modern hip-hop and rap having no sense of rhythm or meter? I mean, it does have rhythm and meter. It's just at my age itself there, you know, it's not something I would understand now. You take that music and 20 years later, those people will be saying the exact same thing.
Also check out this link pornhub.com/manans and come together. Also you look good tonight. I'm getting lit tonight watching you on a couple pills tonight, feeling good. I think I am genuinely falling in love with your mom as well. I have been talking to her. Smile.
Well, another Joel teen with a $3 donation. I'm glad you're falling in love with your mom, with my mom there, you know, so. But she doesn't talk to anyone, so I don't know where you're getting that from. She only talks to me and a few other people, you know. That's what the elderly do. But again, thanks again for the donation. You probably want to get off those pills, and no, we're not reviewing any Pornhub. Definitely not. Thanks for P. It's okay. It was in the afternoon, so am I going to be Big Lenny's life coach? No. J. Cream's crew. You know, there's always going to be some rapper of the year, some sort of artist of the year, you know, but they come and go. John Cena invited to the Swordfish. Chances are he's probably already been there. Oh, I know, Joel, that wasn't you. Come on. The reason being is this one was all capitalized and yours is lowercased. Truth one, I think you can answer that question about Big Rob Fitness's physique. Pat Man, I don't have a crush on any misfit. Ugh. That's gonna make me. That makes my cigar taste bad. You know. Thoughts on Trump getting indicted? Well, everyone's innocent until proven guilty in the court of law. I do find that, you know, everything that he was charged for technically really should have been misdemeanors. And considering that he's going to get charged again by Georgia, I think New York was trying to beat them to the punch or something. I have no clue. But given everything, Trump will be found innocent simply because they'll have to prove that Trump knew paperwork. That's what he hires lawyers for, you know. Michael Cohen can say whatever he wants, but once he gets torn up, he's going to get torn up. Joel, with a $2 donation, it blanked out your comment. It didn't say anything because you used a profanity. It says, that wasn't me, Vince. Whoever donated, so whatever did, F them. Yep, I already know. It came in capitalized, so. But again, thanks for the donation. And we'll do some video reaction reviews. I just need to have it set up as such. I had it set up yesterday to watch movies, so it was pretty easy for me to set it up to do reaction videos too, because it was already set up, so. Do you think Rob had any involvement in 9/11? No. He may not have had any involvement, but he's still guilty by anyway, so. Would you testify on behalf of Trump's character? No. Why would they call me for? You know, I never lived in one of his buildings or anything like that, you know. If they called me for his character, I would have to explain the Trump network and how I lost my money through that, so I don't think it would help one bit. Well, once I have things set up as far as doing a reaction, I may make that into like a separate show, because it takes a while to review videos. You know, Richard does it because he's running like a 6-hour channel, so he needs to do things that fills up that void. It's a good thing to fill up the void, it just takes up a lot of time. Pearl Milling Company, that sounds familiar. Is that the Aunt Jemima stuff there? Aunt Jemami or so? Yeah. I don't eat pancakes, so I could care less. I mean, you can call it a boycott. I just don't eat pancakes. You know. Can we watch some Frank Tufano? No, not right now, strange fellow. We'll have to make reviews on a separate show. You're smoking weed. Hope it's some good stuff, not no skunk. Make sure there's no seeds in it. When was the last time I was loud in the city? Last night. Truth one, folks. We'll do reaction videos once I have it set up. I was able to do it yesterday because we had it set up already to watch movies, so that was pretty easy. Yes, Pugman, I got your message about the sunflower seeds. The price varies by the vendor that we use, so we slightly change the name, but they just come from different farm vendors. But right now, I'm actually out of all sunflower seeds. But that's the same with a number of products I have for raw goods. You know, one farm vendor charges one amount, and then another vendor charges another amount. You know, some vendors are cheaper than the other ones. Have I ever seen Dale Chance in person? No, I've never met him in person. Jane, Goblin, Genova would be... The Genova's just a bar by reservations, you know. As long as you're appropriately dressed, you set up reservations, and you come in on your best behavior, you're perfectly fine, you know. You're smoking Indian cigarettes? I didn't know there was a difference here. You'll have to explain that to me, Justin. Traps are looking like some Swiss mountains in the last video. I think part of it is that I have a thick robe on, you know. Or it depends on whether I'm angled or not. I'm a pretty big person.
Just kidding, it was me. I am definitely off for 2 or so right now, so I'm talking in 2 different personalities. Have you ever been so high off cigars you just start smoking whites off the dikes in the lights? It's a good time tonight. Also shout out Blahaji.
I got another $3 donation. Have I ever been high off a cigar? No, but I've had a bad cigar to where I've actually had to cough it up there. And I've had one that's burned my throat before. There is a such thing as a bad cigar, but again, thanks for the donation. Oh yeah, I did have one of those barbecue type cigars. That thing was disgusting. And I spit that out too. Collie muscle is a chest pain, but what do you expect? He went back to doing the same things that his doctor told him not to do, you know. Thanks. It depends on when you catch me during the day. But I told you guys I've been losing weight there, but it depends on whenever I'm taking hydrothorazide, is whenever I look kind of puffy or whether I look lean. But ultimately, yeah, I've been losing weight because I've been not eating junk food. I've been eating cucumbers and stuff for snack foods. The same stuff I did whenever I was dieting down for shows. I just simply substitute out one food for something that's a lot leaner.
Did you see your cuz looking paler?
Vince with a $2 donation. Did I? Yes, I did see him looking paler after he worked out and was catching his breath. I thought that he was not going to do any more workouts or so on video, but I guess he changed his mind, or maybe donations were low for him or something. But again, thanks for the donation, Vince. That's what I'm thinking probably, is that he went back to doing it because he needed to earn some more money. Is Dale Chance physically my type? I don't have a physical type. It's all about personality. Am I a peasant? No. There are no more peasants there. The Dark Ages have long been over with. A barbecue infused cigar, Andrew. It's infused with barbecue sauce. They make these infusion cigars sometimes, mint and stuff like that. Coffee is the most popular one. This one was a barbecue cigar. It was just horrible. Ukraine produces most sunflowers. I didn't know that, actually. I really didn't. That could be a possibility. But actually, I have several vendors for sunflower seeds. Two of them I had already pulled off. There's also, it's not just for that. There's other things like beets and stuff like that. It's kind of a weird situation. Well, some of them that are posting as the fake Joltine, and other ones are not. The test cream has been working great. I'm now putting them in my inner thighs instead of on my shoulders. I think it absorbs better. Well, there's still plenty of safety fat, Tater. Once I get it down even lower, at that point in time, we can pull off the shirt. Well, me and Trump do eat our steaks pretty similar, well done with ketchup, you know. I mean, I have his books, The Art of the Deal and Why We Want You to Be Rich with Robert Kiyosaki. So in some ways we're alike, and in other ways we're definitely not alike there. One thing's for sure, if Trump wasn't around, it wouldn't have inspired me to go into business, so I guess that's a good thing here. That's also why I joined this network there as well, because, you know, whenever I was growing up, I read Trump books there and stuff. Should I buy a Ford or Dodge to tow my home on wheels? Depends on how big your home is. If you have one of those tiny homes, I would get a Ford. Ford's my favorite car, or favorite vehicle. No, Pat, just personality. Why would I care whether they have a big rod or not? You know, it's going to be me that's going to be sticking it. I don't care how big or small it is. It's not going anywhere near me. So if a man is 400 pounds but he's a type mentally intelligent, well, no, because if someone is 400 pounds, truth one, that means that their personality, it automatically tells me that they don't take care of their own personal self or their personal hygiene. So being 400 pounds already speaks towards their personality. It's not going to be someone that's hygienic there whatsoever. It's someone that's usually going to be obsessed with food. Even though I don't go for looks, folks, there's a number of things that you can derive from someone's looks. And someone being 400 pounds, that's going to be a fat, really fat dude. That's going to be a very obese dude, you know? That's going to be obsessed with eating, obviously. He's going to have like an eating disorder. I don't need eating disorders. Do I like eating tomatoes whole? No, I like them sliced and on a sandwich. I don't know of anyone that eats them whole. I mean, I guess you can eat them like an apple, but, you know. If someone footed the bill for transplants, would I rock a Mr. T style? No, because again, a transplant is a surgical procedure, and I frown against those, you know. God took away my hair, you know, and I have to respect the will of the Lord. Just keeping it real and telling it to you like it is. Do you know, like Rich Dad or yeah, I have the books. I have both books. The Art of the Deal and Why We Want You to Be Rich. Thoughts on soul food. It's the same thing as slave food. Soul food basically is slave food. It's what they used to feed slaves. Garbage. Why would I eat that stuff? You don't like to be penetrated. No. I'm top heavy, so. What about a micro P? Nope. I like poutine. I've had it before. Very good. Something good that actually came out of Canada, you know. As long as you have the right gravy. All right, Strange Clouds. Thanks again for tuning in. You know, don't forget, you know, you can always do the replay as well and play it again. You know, that'll help me to get that $1.96 for the 1,000 views. What if they're on their way to 700 pounds ripped? Well, that means they're obsessed with steroids. So, again, no. How much would you have to get paid to live on the beach and eat greasy stews for a year? Probably not much. The greasy stews is one thing, but I would love to live on the beach. Beach is awesome. Would you consider J Masters hygienic? No. Nope. No, not 400 pounds ripped. There's no guy out there that is 400 pounds ripped. Well, the difference is that when God takes away your hair, it doesn't affect my health. However, with my testosterone away, that does affect my health, you know. And I'm not trying to die, you know. Because without testosterone, of course, or hormones, that mean including insulin, for example, that leads me to be a diabetic, and I'll be having diabetes, you know. We don't want diabetes. Then I'd get a lot fatter, too. Is it against God's will to repair a child's teeth? No. Are you implying something? Did I ever read any Jimmy Neutron science books? No, I think that's after my time. Or it could be with my time. The only science books I really read were stuff that I got out of the library, collegiate books. Some people don't know all the rappers wanted to be Trump in the 90s. Yeah, a lot of rappers still want to be Trump in this day and age. They still rap about him. Trump's a popular guy, you know. He did a lot of things for the black community, but on the other hand, he did a lot of things not exactly great for the black community, like the Central Park 6. He took out that ad, and then there was his apartments or so. But he also did a lot for the black community as well. I think it outweighs anything that is pretty much alleged anyway. Well, except for the ads. I don't think it was a good idea for him to take out the ads. And it was more directed for the death penalty for someone anyway. So I believe in the death penalty. You know, some people who commit such heinous crimes, I think the death penalty is the only proper solution, you know. Some people deserve to get strung up from a tree, folks. And that's a fact. Gino Hernandez, he had a good personality, but he was too busy in drugs. Did Bravo wish me a happy birthday? No. Have I ever done a DP? If I've done one, I wouldn't tell you. Thought you didn't care for the ocean? I said I would live on the ocean. I wouldn't swim in the ocean. I wouldn't get on a boat in the ocean or anything. The beach is perfectly fine. Watching the waves is one thing, you know. That's probably true there, Andrew, unfortunately. Yeah, Jay Masters has done a lot for the black community. No firing squads packed. They already got firing squads in certain states. But again, some people aren't worth wasting the bullet. Just a sturdy tree and a rope is all you need. Yeah, I would say it is noisy if it's storming or something like that. But, you know, I like watching the waves. It's like most of the time whenever I'm reading at home, you know, I turn on the YouTube and I put those ocean pictures or one of those fireplace pictures and have it play for like hours and stuff. You know those 6-hour things they have. Thoughts on Vegan Gains gassing out after a couple squats? I think part of it is his nerves play into it. He psychs himself out. But then again, he's also out of shape, I think, or so forth. Got to cut out those sugary snacks. Of course, South Carolina is a conservative state. They would bring back the rope if it was available. Really, Pugman? 100 decibels over time? Damn. Well, maybe I don't want to stay near the beach. Maybe I just want to watch it on TV or something. That's horrible. All right, folks, it's going to buffer a little bit, so just hang tight. I used to go to Woodbine, then hang with my G's in Scarborough. Required salary for a year on a houseboat with your favorite Canadian cousin and only greasy foods. Probably about $500,000 a year at minimum, you know. You know, but you know, I would definitely not want the greasy food. I'd probably throw a lot of bread in there or something, you know, to soak up the grease. I think $500,000 would be sufficient. A pretty good cigar tonight. Yes, indeed. Good cigar. Yep, 500K, non-negotiable. Non-negotiable indeed. I can imagine living with him. I mean, he does a 6-hour stream. You can see how he actually lives. So yeah, they did clean up a little bit and move a couple things, but that's not saying much. Name your son. I name your son Joshua. Joshua is a good name. It's biblical, and then you can go short for Josh, and it's a little more modern. Yeah, I guess I could eat his rabbits, make a good Hassenpfeffer, you know. I love Hassenpfeffer. Good stuff. Have I drafted out my apology to conservative Cuban? No, I've not drafted it out, but if you wait about 5 days and check again, we'll both be surprised. I've not checked out any Blaha videos with him playing his guitar, but I'll certainly check it out there, that's for sure. I may even make a video on it, as far as the skills. Jim Carrey has a great personality. I would say probably, yeah. But but it probably wouldn't go well. At the very least, I would get to learn about his life and stuff like that. Jim's a very funny person there, you know. Of course, he's not a homosexual or anything. Why does Cuban keep bashing me? Well, because I yelled at him, you know. Once you take somebody's ass, usually they try to get it back, you know. I think I'm going to keep it for a while. Thoughts on Bohemian Grove? I don't know what that is. I'll have to look that up. Bohemian Grove. Oh, there's a Wikipedia page. Ah, it's a Swinging Dicks Club. Sounds kind of gay. Especially with all those men there. Oh, well. Not somewhere I would want to venture, you know. Most people think that, someone like me would want to go on a gay cruise. No, I wouldn't want to go on a gay cruise. You want to know why? Because you're talking about it just, I'd rather go and speak with regular people. I mean, it's not that I wouldn't. I mean, the thing about it is, I'm not trying to be I'm definitely not going to be homophobic, seeing as I'm a homosexual. But whenever I go anywhere, I want to be around a variety of people, and stuff. Not just one specific group. Now, I'm not going to launch into one of those diversity is our strength. That's not exactly what I mean. Diversity is not really our strength, folks. Some people need to be separated, that's for sure. Not everyone needs to be together. That's perfectly fine for me, because why in the world would I want to hang out with someone that thinks I'm a PM or something? You know what I'm saying? If I lived with Richard, the first thing I would do is clean up that house and get rid of all those animals. But Richard is never going to eat any meat because his channel's name is Vegan Gains. Without being a vegan, there goes his channel, there goes his income. Just like that other guy, once he started eating meat again, he lost all his subscribers, he lost all his clients, he lost all his money. Do I think Big Trips is a sex symbol? No. He's squishy. And makes very bad videos. Low subscriber count. Low quality. He does do funny impersonations, I'll give him that, He just needs to develop it a little more. What is a PM? That's a porch monkey. Ooh, porch monkey. Folks, racism doesn't bother me one bit. Someone can call me an N-word on the street, that's fine. I'll knock them straight out, and stuff. He would have a panic attack. He certainly will, especially throwing out those animals. Hey, Kaizen, hope you're doing well. Drinking a margarita, that's what I'm talking about. Vegan Gaines needs to tell Jasmine that his apartment's only big enough for one. She's non-binary, Richard. Non-binary. Not a man, not a woman. Non-binary. She doesn't identify as a man or a woman. No, not Prime Minister. I've just said it. Tom Cruise or Chris Evans? Probably Chris Evans, because I don't want to hang around a Scientologist. Nothing wrong with the religion, but if I'm not a Scientologist, you know, they wouldn't even date me to begin with, you know. No, I take that back. I did go out on a date with a Scientologist before, you know. And it went well, you know. Have I ever done a rusty trombone? No, I've never done a rusty trombone. I don't know who King Cobra JFS is, or actually, his name sounds familiar. I think I've seen one of his videos before. Let me see here. I may have actually checked out one of his videos. Oh, wow. That's one ugly motherfucker. Wow. You know, if he went to a stylist or something, he would look a whole lot better, but, you know, Jesus Christ. He sure does dress funny. Yeah, I remember his videos. He has a face that only a mother can hate. The mints are always flowing whenever the midnight run is on. Is he a gothic Genova? Well, he has a cowboy hat on. I don't know any goth kids that wear cowboy hats. A little miniature one. I've seen some gay strippers with those little miniature cowboy hats. If you guys remember that in Living Color episode, Men on Films, actually, that gives me a definition on it. Hated it. Multiple food. You know, those food delivery services can get quite expensive. Now, Walmart delivery, they finally switched over the tips to where now I only have to tip $2 in order to get my stuff delivered. Which makes sense there because I already have to pay. Well, I mean, I have an Amex, so technically I'm still paying for the membership, you know. Yeah, so Rusty Trombone is disgusting. I seen one in a porn video one time. He's a goth cowboy. I've never heard of a goth cowboy. Goth kids, when I grew up, the ones that at my time that I grew up, most of them drank a lot of coffee, you know. Goth kids drink a whole lot of coffee. They usually, that and smoke a lot of cigarettes. Never seen one with a cowboy hat, but hey. It is 2023, you know. Maybe it's a new type of goth kid, you know. Oh, he goes by Crystal now. He actually started a new Facebook profile. He needs to do something about his eyelashes. I'm going to have one of my gay friends contact him and give him some tips on doing eyebrows. Eyebrows are horrid. Yes, hun. Well, I don't think anyone should be messing with anyone, you know. Going around messing with someone's personal life there, that's not cool. Yeah, cancel culture is getting out of control, but you know, that's what DVDs are for. If you can't watch the Dukes of Hazzard on TV, get a DVD. Remember, for every problem, Serratus, there is a solution, you know. would I ever date Copper Top? You mean Carrot Top? I'd probably date Carrot Top there. I mean, I've gone to his shows. He does some pretty awesome shows. But no, definitely no Blaha. No, we don't want to rewind that there, Thick Cut. We'll just hate it. The deliveries are from trolls. They also send them Grinder. Jesus Christ. That means someone knows where he lives there. That's definitely not good. Yeah, I would definitely want to train Rings of Redemption. He would have to pay me a bunch, but I can definitely get him in shape, that's for sure. Alright, Honk. Thanks again for joining me in the stream. Would I tap a thick white girl? I've tapped plenty of thick white girls. That was in my pre-homo days, or not exactly. I was still a homosexual, but that was at the time where I was trying to pound enough women in order to get the gay out, you know. Because like I said before, being gay in the black community is not a good thing. That was during a time where I was just tearing up women's vajayjays. But I've had a lot of thick white women. Had one husky black woman too. Man. If I can describe that, I would, it was like Coors Light. I was tapping the Rockies, That thing was like climbing Mount Everest here. I'm just glad one of those ice walls didn't fall on my ass, Jason Genova once said he was a Donald Trump of fitness. You have to have money in order to be even close to Donald Trump, so... I get depressed by the nature of humanity these days. Serratus, people can't mind their own business because everyone wants to create the planet in their own image, Everybody wants what other people want. It's like the Bud Light things, First off, Bud Light is peasant swill, in my opinion. I've had Bud Light before. It tastes bad. If I'm at a party and that's the only thing there, I will drink it. But, the argument on Bud Light is you have an established group of customers arguing with another established group of customers that drink Bud Light. Makes no sense. That's the example of... That technically is an example of cancel culture in both terms, Who cares? And, it's not really even a sponsorship. Basically, they made a supply of cans itself there of this Dylan person. So once all those cans are gone and they're drunk up, that's pretty much the end of it there. What do they call it? Commemorary cans is what they made. So once they're all gone, they're gone. And that'll be the end of that. Copper Top was the chubby, bearded, swirly face talking about, oh. Well, then I definitely wouldn't date him. Yeah, I suppose so, Thick Cut. You guys need to watch YouTube. If y'all want to know what good shows are, watch In Living Color, That's where I get a lot of my comedy from, by the way. Homosexual. No, homeosexual. Who you got into a fight between Wings and Boogie? Boogie. Thoughts on Moose Knuckles? I don't know who that is. Did you take your hate out on them white girls? Yes, I did. I was trying my own version of cave conversion therapy, So I was pounding whatever woman I thought that, if I tore up enough, if I screwed enough women that, I would no longer be gay. But that's what being young and stupid is all about. It doesn't work, folks. Trust me. It really doesn't work. I prefer the mangina. A lot of misfit maniacs in Ohio. Yep, they hanging with my daddy and my brother. A good racial break show is Home Improvement. I love Home Improvement. That was an awesome show. Yep, poor white girl cheeks, you know. But we's cool, you know. They got a little bit of that dark meat, you know, that BBC. And I'm not talking about the British Broadcasting Channel. But they sure did get the cable. Yes, I am quite frugal. The only exception I'm not frugal on is my drinks and my cigars. I gotta have good cigars and good drinks. Other than that, I'm pretty much frugal on everything else. Do you do Discord debates? I did one with Vegan Gains. I may do some more in the future. You know, they are obsessed with that Mandingo Ding Ding, you know, and stuff. I don't read too much in it. Was I also homophobic? I used to call gay people fags back when I was growing up, so I'm sure I'll get flagged by YouTube for saying that, but yeah, I used to call them that, you know. It was a way to cover up my own homosexuality, you know. Like I said, I tried my best there, you know. It doesn't work. It doesn't matter how many women I screwed. It doesn't work, folks, you know. I can't answer the question whether someone's born gay or not. But one thing I can answer from my experience is, you know, gay person's gonna be a gay person, you know. Well, no, not Tefano there, Pugman, because I don't stick dildos up my butthole, you know, so. Well, I mean, Pugman, it's considered, it's sort of like a stereotype. I mean, the truth is, a lot of gay people do act like me, you know. But then you do have the general stereotypical one there, so, you know. But I love them just as much as anyone else here. Why don't you quit screwing over animals? How am I screwing over animals? You'll have to be more specific. Go vegan. No. Nope. Already went vegan. Not healthy. Do I have any feminine traits? I mean, I like dressing nice and I like bathing and stuff. And I wear cologne. Everyone, you have to understand, Pat, man, every man has to have some sort of feminine trait. The reason being is even men produce estrogen. So at some point in time, everyone has some sort of feminine trait there. However, my masculine traits are well outdominate any feminine traits anyone has. I would say 98%, 2%, you know. But everyone does have feminine traits there, regardless as to whether they acknowledge it or not. That's also necessary for sexual relations. You do have to have some sort of feminine trait in order to actually screw. I did it wrong. Did my best there, so if you're referring to the women thing. Yes, it's me. I'm Vegan Games. No, you're not. Vegan Games has been up here before. He posts under his own name. I put in my highlight. You put a highlight in your hair? Interesting. It's RC. I watched your videos. Oh, okay. What kind of videos does RC8802 do? Let's see what we got. I troll vegan gains. Well, you do a pretty good job of it there. 1.2 thousand subscribers. Oh no, 32 subscribers. This one has 1,000 views in it.
Jesus.
Well, any person that trolls vegan gains is a friend of mine, so welcome, friend. Armani, it's a good cologne, but it's not something I wear. My favorite is the Cool Water. It's affordable and it smells good. But I've had Armani before. It's all right too. You know, I've had you have your selection of colognes, but then you settle after. It's like cigars, you know. I've had a bunch of cigars, but after a while you settle in on your particular favorites. Oh, forgot to turn off my business phone. Why is someone calling me at 11 o'clock anyway? Hold on a minute, folks. Got to turn off my business line. There we go. I did check out your videos, Lamar. It's pretty good videos here. I've actually subscribed to your channel as well. I'm definitely not anti-women. I like women, you know. I got a lot of women friends, you know. Now, that's a stereotypical gay thing there, that, you know, gay people are friends with a lot of women, so, yeah. So I guess I fall under some stereotypes. Oh, yeah, Cool Water's awesome. It's a great smelling cologne. It meets a lot of occasions, and it's inexpensive. Yes, I tried Crystal Pepsi there. It was way too sugary. I think the whole idea is you look cool drinking it. But that's it. Patman, me and John Romano settled our differences, you know, and ended our 25-year feud. Rogue Man. I haven't heard that name in a while. Well, that's good there, RC. Keep up the work. Like I said, anyone that makes trolling vegan gains videos is a friend of mine. Have I been on RX Muscle? Not on their forums. I've been on some of their live streams. I'll probably be on another live stream probably in another month again. I definitely appreciate that, Lamar. But like I said, I subscribe to it, so whenever you have a video in, you know, I'll see it. Would I drink 500? No, because then you would die, William. You can't spend money if you're dead. Do I ever do yard work? Yeah, I do some. I spray for weeds, but I have someone else doing yard work for the most part. You have to weigh out your balances. I mean, if I purchase a lawnmower, for example, to maintain it, to store it, it would be it's just cheaper for me just to have the lawn, have someone do the lawn. It's more convenient too. It's all about managing time. It's the same with my business. Anything in my business I can do myself, but, you know, I'm going to usually hire people to do things for the business because that, you know, my time is the most valuable asset. Well, I would have to get passes. I mean, I could probably asked Dave for that to be at one of his booths there. But you know, again, I don't do supplement sponsorships because then I would have to integrate that into my channel. You know, I'd rather just promote my own businesses. That's why I never went to work for. Well, I was on the outs with RX Muscle anyway at the time. Justin, you can make a bomb out of practically anything. Who is the most annoying, Destiny or VG? Probably Vegan Gains. Who was a worse president, Andrew Jackson or... What made either one of these presidents bad? Donald Trump wasn't a bad president. Neither was Andrew Jackson. I mean, both of them were impeached and everything. Folks, being impeached, it doesn't make someone a bad president. All that stuff is just political. That's just for political purposes. I mean, they blame Trump for inciting a riot, but, you know, there's over 100,000 people. Those people would have went to the Capitol building even if Trump didn't say so. And did he actually say so? No. He said, I remember exactly what he said. We're going to all walk peacefully. And he said the word peacefully over to the Capitol building. You know, from there, you know, everyone else was responsible for their own individual actions. Oh, yes, I definitely watch Mad TV. That was sort of like a spinoff from In Living Color, actually. But we would buy... Yeah, but again, I would have to sell supplements and I would have to integrate it in my channel. It doesn't fit my program. Plus, like I said before, my other YouTube channel that I'm developing does financial videos, which I'll show you guys pretty soon. And YouTube pays a lot more, and I don't get in so much trouble with those. If I don't get in trouble at all with those because it doesn't have controversial content. Oh, I just don't have it set up, Pugman. I had it, if you were on my birthday run, I did do a reaction video, and we also watched a movie. So whenever I have it set up, I can definitely do reaction videos here. I just don't have it set up tonight to do so. I would have to resize the screens and everything. Was Obama worse than... No. Obama wasn't a bad president neither. There's no such thing as a bad president, you know. You have to understand that a president is usually the figurehead of a political group. But Trump wasn't a bad president. I like trolling videos here. And I've done reaction videos to some of Veganism Exposes videos. So I do reaction videos. Usually I do them as a separate video on my channel that's not on a live stream. I got one I got to do tomorrow. So. But for the most part, the way I do my reaction videos, I don't do them live. I do them as a video. And the benefit of that, it allows me to review. And if I need to edit out something like copyrighted content, it gives me an opportunity to do so. So I do reaction videos. I just don't do them on a live stream. I got some speakers coming in, Thick Cut. Yeah, I do have bandwidth issues too. I did try hooking up the 4G router, and I got pretty much the same results. Okay, I'll do a review of your videos there, RC. Yeah, we can definitely do that. All right, folks, we got 45 minutes. Get your questions in and stuff. Yeah, if I didn't have bandwidth issues, I'd still be working at Verizon, you know. If I had cable and fiber. They're supposed to be putting this out in a few months or so, but, you know, I don't know what's going on. How is the weather here? It is quite windy. Very windy. It's blowing all over the place. Well, you don't really need guidance, Lamar. You just need to do videos. That's all you need to do. Just keep doing it and keep doing it, you know, and you get better over time, you know. You don't need to do a perfect video. None of your videos are going to be perfect in the beginning. If you look at some of my first videos, they weren't exactly great neither. But as time goes by, you learn how to do your videos better. So just let things happen, you know, as it is. Just make sure you're putting out consistent content. The key to actually doing it, Lamar, and here's what I would recommend doing. Make it your task to put out one video or 2 videos a day, and do that for about 2 months. Put out 2 videos every single day for 2 months. And you'll by that time you'll have 160 videos under your belt, and that's going to be plenty of practice. You'll see how much better you get over 120 videos. I don't hate Vegan Gains. Well, I did hate him because he made fun of my good friend Leroy Colbert, God bless his soul and everything. But he does frustrate me as far as his activities and the way he lives his life. So, you know, it looks like a miniature picture. So let's see. Let's pull up your main profile. Ah, cool. It looks like that. You ever seen that channel Frog Time? I like watching that channel where they got this bullfrog and they feed him a bunch of bugs and stuff. 6-hour stream? No, I'll do longer streams or breakdown streams, but I'm not going to do a 6-hour stream. At least not in this type of format. Oh, it's important to have a high fiber diet, William. That helps out your regulatory systems and stuff. How often do I take a dump? Once a day. And when you eat a fibrous product like cucumbers or oatmeal or so forth, your body has a good flow. It feels a lot better, you know. It also clears up any skin issues as well. Yeah, I've heard about the Barbie movie trailer. I will not be watching it because it's Barbie. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Come on, Barbie, let's go party. Ooh. I'm a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. It's like magic. And it's fantastic. You can play with my hair or jump off the top of a rope like Ric Flair. Woo! She's number. Oh, it's your bullfrog. Oh, awesome. You collect. You got frogs there. Well, don't do like Aaron P did and have Vegan Gains make you throw it away or something. New subscriber, Superman Stanley 69. Welcome to the piss. Is it bad to play with yourself while taking a dump? No. I think it's weird. I mean, I've jerked off on the toilet. I mean, but who hasn't, you know? That's what most people do in prison. If they need to jerk off, they'll go into the bathroom and they'll jerk off. Or in prison, what they'll do is whenever they go to bed at night, they'll jerk off under the covers. But actually, good question. You don't keep frogs as pets? You catch and release? Okay. I think a frog would make a good pet, actually. As long as you take good care of it. I like AEW wrestling. I like WWE wrestling. It's just different wrestling. If you want to see some real garbage wrestling, try Women's Extreme Wrestling. That's actually on Pluto, folks. If you want to see some real garbage wrestling. I like the community and Barbie movies. Well, it's a good way to spend time with your daughter, Quick Pump. So more power to you on that, you know. A lot of men, a lot of fathers these days, they don't like doing things with their kids, with their daughters, because they think some of them think that makes them look more girly, you know. Only a real man actually hangs out with their children. Well, if your sheets are getting crunchy, you should change them. I change my sheets on my bed once a week. And then I wash them, you know. I know a lot of guys, they don't change their sheets for like a month or two. I mean, there's nothing like sleeping on some fresh sheets. Stroking in the shower. I've done that before. XPW stop garbage. If I ended up in jail, no. Because I worked in law enforcement, Pat-Man, I would be in protective custody. I would be in with other officers or so forth, or other people in law enforcement. I wouldn't be in general population. They wouldn't put me in general population. Because I was a former corrections officer. So I'm definitely not going to ever be in general pop. Have I ever stroked it on a weight bench? No, because that's out in public. Ew. Low tier god. Who is low tier god? Never heard of him. Let's take a look at him. He looks like that guy Calvin from McDonald's, the old 80s commercials. He ain't ugly or anything. This cigar is actually going pretty good still. And it's not... The way you can tell a cigar is about to burn out is when it starts heating up. This one hasn't heated up or anything. Do you miss not having a partner? Sometimes. But you have to make... But, you know, life for me is pretty good. So, life is what you make it. But I'm going to close out this cigar with elegance. So remember, folks, twist, not jab. I've had feces thrown on me by inmates. I've been stabbed by an inmate. I've been clawed by an inmate, and I've been punched and hit by an inmate. Goes with the job. Well, it depends. I'll go to Total Wine to get cigars and drinks sometimes. I'll go to a cigar bar if I need a real fancy one. For the most part, anything I have at home, usually I order from Cigars International. The thing about ordering from Cigars International... It's only if you have humidors to where you can keep them. It's only more women for you if you can do the things to attract the women. How old am I? I am 46. Turned 46 yesterday. So leave a birthday gift, would you? if there were only two men left on Earth, well, I'd probably end up leaving the Earth, if you know what I mean. So, tough inmates. When you're in corrections, it's not the regular people that run their mouths that you have to worry about. It's the really quiet and silent ones. The quiet ones are the most dangerous inmates out there, you know, because they hold in all that anger and then it just explodes. And when it explodes, you got to watch out, you know. And the way I got hit one time before, I just said morning to this one guy. Next thing you know, I got slugged in the face, you know. But it's like that, you know. Being in corrections, it's a man's job, you know. You got to be a man in the prisons. You can't have a level of weakness, and you have to have the expectation that something's going to happen to you. No one that has worked in corrections has never gotten hurt. Not that I know. Everyone that I worked around had gotten hurt some point in time. Please Google search moose knuckle. Moose knuckle is a slang term for when the outline of a man's genitalia. I wish I didn't Google it. I worked in prison. I was a corrections officer, Protein Bra. Hey, Zach, you getting in here kind of late, man. Is Aaron Singerman hiding in Israel? No, he's observing Passover, obviously. But he's right in Florida. What were my thoughts on sober powerlifting? He's okay. Just another channel out there. Well, of course you like this stream there. It's the best one out there on YouTube. At least I try to make it as such. Hey, Chad. How you doing tonight? Would I consider myself a high value man? I would say yes in some sort of ways. A high value man isn't because of someone's wealth, it's someone's behaviors and mannerisms. So, yeah, I would probably consider it. Well, RC probably never talked about it, you know. I talk about it because, you know, I run a show and people ask me questions about it, you know. I mean, a lot of people that served in Vietnam don't talk about Vietnam for obvious reasons, you know. If they don't talk about Vietnam, they got it right telling you, if you know what I mean. I have never had any sexual thoughts about vegan gains. Strangest place I've taken a dump at a graveyard. When I was doing security, I took a dump there. Thoughts on the Trump indictments? They're all misdemeanors and being charged as felonies. He'll be acquitted because they're going to tear up Michael Cohen on the aisles. You know, Trump is not an attorney, so he's not going to know about his financial expenses. But, you know, the thing about it is you shouldn't put a whore on as a tax write-off. I'm not going to answer that question or see as far as to whether I would do Aaron P. or Vegan Gains. I would do neither one. Can you name a more alpha male than Jay Masters? What do you classify as an alpha male, Tater Tot? We got 30 minutes, so just define an alpha male for me. Oh, thanks for that birthday wishes there, William. I don't know who West Coast Wolverine is. Just like all the other people, I'll check them out and see. Do I think Jason Blaha is gay? From everything that I've observed, no. But you never know when someone who is gay and who isn't, you know. If ever he is gay and he gets outed, it's going to be some real good mints. Well, Protein Bra, they have mental issues, and that's the only weapon that they have in a prison. And they know it'll piss us off. Well, the only thing that's happened to Jasmine is she came out as non-binary. Yes, Big Lenny did eat the poo-poo. Well, like I said, I'll go and check him out there. He must be like a Furious Pete if he is a pie-eating person. Pie-eating contest champion. No, I didn't dump on someone's grave. I took a dump at a grave bathroom. I definitely didn't like it. It was kind of creepy. Yes, I've seen Jesse Lee Peterson. A lot of people consider him as an Uncle Tom. He just has his own values. Well, folks, define to me as far as the what makes an alpha, you know. I'm real sorry to hear that. If he didn't make it to 50, he must have died at a pretty young age then. Now, you don't have to mention how he passed away. I mean, that'd be kind of inappropriate for me to even ask something like that. Why do I think women get the hots for me when they see working out on a weighted vest? Because when you're working out and you're sweating, you're also giving off pheromones as well. That's why that's why people get hot under the collar when they see women working out and sweating. Because the lady is also giving off pheromones. Protein. Would I date Andrew Jack? No. Business is business. Business is Mint's term of business. Does being with Jasmine make Vegan Gains gay? It doesn't make him straight. He would have to answer that for himself there. I think he considers himself straight. But considering that he's had the dildo and he wants to, with panties and stuff like that, I think that would be the earlier definition as exhibiting a lot of feminine traits here. Well, Tater Tot asks, what activities, what mannerisms, what traits make Jay Masters an alpha? $2.50 would be the correct term. I've not noticed any type of homosexual behavior from Jay. As far as I know, Jay, he's straight as an arrow. But being straight doesn't make you a alpha. I mean, given the word alpha, y'all remember my Halloween when I got all dressed up and put makeup on and stuff like that? Did I look anything like a woman or anything, you know? It doesn't matter if I put on a dress or not, I'm still going to look manly there, so, maybe that would be the term of an alpha. Big Lenny's medical conditions is due to his abuse of steroids, and recreational drugs. Oh, my age. I'm sorry to hear that. Like I said, that is a very young age. But, when it's your time to go, I mean, even for me or anyone else, it's your time to go, As long as someone does everything and accomplishes as much as possible in life, that's definitely going to be a good thing. I've known people that have taken a dump on a grave. It's very disrespectful. And obviously, the term pissing on someone's grave. I've seen people that actually do that. Okay. You're either born an alpha male or not. Okay. Well, there's billions of people on the planet there. I'm sure a lot of people share birthdays with me. Which reminds me, I forgot to wish a friend of mine a happy birthday because his birthday falls on the same as mine. Can Big Trips beat Blaha in a fight? Yeah, probably. Blaha isn't tough as he looks here, or sounds. No, I wouldn't fall for any of Andrew Tate's stuff there. You know, I'm going to be honest with you. Usually people who claim and make statements about being alpha actually makes them look less alpha, to be honest with you. I haven't seen J Masters on any Discovery Channel specials. Egg cars on Halloween from a graveyard. That's not a nice thing. Well, Andrew, I don't like or dislike hairy guys. I've been with hairy guys before, you know. I mean, we all grow hair, so it's not a factor, you know. If someone has hair, I mean, that's because that's what the human body does. It grows hair. Well, Kali Muscle needs to tone it down. Again, polygamous behavior in order to get views and make money. Nothing better to treat PMs than Raid bug spray. It's not going to kill black people. The only thing Raid bug spray kills is roaches and other insects. Truth one, I believe in. It's probably because he was intoxicated at the time, you know. Whenever someone's intoxicated, they'll generally say things that they don't mean to say. No, Richard is not straight. Not at this point in time. Based on his general behaviors and his actions. Neither is Frank Tofano. Now, me, I'm gay, you know, and stuff like that, you know. But, you know, I acknowledge that and everything like that. But, you know, so I would be an expert as far as to what's gay. And there's no way either Richard or Frank Tofano is straight. I don't know what to make of either, both of them. Well, I've said the same thing before, Scatman. As I said before, I think Bravo's video was a waste of time. But someone wanted me to still review it there. And Bravo asked me, and me and Bravo are friends. So, you know, I want to give them the benefit of the doubt there, you know. Plain and simple. But I still stand where, I mean, I haven't changed my stance as far as the interview is concerned. I think it was a waste of time because, you know, Tony Hugh just not being truthful, you know. There's nothing else that can be said, and I think everyone agrees with me that he wasn't truthful. There's not a real way for anything to cover up any pheromones because pheromones are released throughout the entire parts of the body, not just under your arms. You put deodorant under your arms.
I came out last month. I didn't want to tell my parents that I like willies. Actually, I love big black willies with pubes.
Andrew with a $3 donation. You like big black willies? Well, good for you. You know, if you can't get any of the BBC, you may want to get a dildo or so. But again, thanks for the donation. I would only use gear if you have aspirations of competing as a competitive bodybuilder on a national stage. Other than that, or if you're having, like myself, if you have a medical condition that requires it. But those are the only times here. According to the Discovery Channel special, it's the beta males that make the most noise. That sounds about right. What are my thoughts on VK? I've already made a video about him. He was saying a lot of stuff about me, but no one's really listening because he's on Rumble most of the time. I'm going to start posting on some of my banned videos from YouTube on Rumble pretty soon. But he needs to be out still on a more social level. Get on YouTube or TikTok or Instagram or something. Have I ever had a mustache? Yes, I've had a mustache. I've had a beard. I've had a flat top. I've once dyed my hair a little bit. I've had curly hair. That's just one of the phases in life there to where, I grew out a mustache to see whether it looked good, and I don't look really well in a mustache. I look all right in a beard. I had a beard when I started work at Lowe's, Frank and Richard should date. Maybe. Would I do Frank Tufano? No, he's crackers. He's crazy. He has a very bad personality. He hates Jews. Anyone that hates Jews, I'm definitely not going to get along with. I got a lot of Jewish friends, I hate anti-Semitism. I've had a lot of Jewish people over in my life that's helped me build my business and stuff, so I definitely don't have any problems with Jews. I've dated black women before, and I've screwed a bunch of them too. I've screwed a lot of women. I've screwed more women than I've screwed men. Deodorants cannot cover up pheromones because pheromones are released by the entire body. When you put on deodorant, it's only under your arms. So it's really it's impossible to really cover up pheromones. It's far more pronounced. What are you referring to, Pugman? I'm a little confused. I'm sorry. Vegan Gains has been falling apart for many years. It's his depression and the fact that the only thing he does is works on YouTube. He doesn't go anywhere or anything. He's not in the outside world. He hasn't, in terms, let his hair loose or anything. Why does my donation sound so loud? I have it on high volume because I don't have speakers. That's one thing I'll have to do. Once I get speakers, I'll have to turn down the sound. I also have to know I need to find out also how to adjust the sound. I've never really studied into Streamlabs as far as to how to really do things very well. But good question. I'll eventually figure out. What I need to do, Pugman, is I need to take some time out in the day to actually learn all the features and functions of Streamlabs. I just go put out the content regardless, and try to do everything I can. And over time, I build up more skills in order to actually work it right. Like someone told me that I can actually set up different settings for the monitors and stuff to where I can automatically just switch over to a certain setup on my streaming and stuff. So I got to figure out how to do that. I don't know who Arash Rebar is. Let's see who that is. Good physique. I don't know nothing about his personality, so I can't. He looks all right there, He's not ugly or anything. How small? Well, Pugman, if you're referring to the testes from using anabolic steroids, it depends on a person's genetics. I didn't watch Bravo's last story. I'm actually behind a lot on videos, mainly because I was celebrating my birthday and doing other things. I've been kind of lazy this week, actually. Your birthday was on April Fool's Day. You're 44. Well, happy late birthday. Well, my mom and dad were divorced at the time, so I didn't grow up with my dad. We're not allowed to discuss doses, quick pump, but again, the amount of gear that's needed is dependent upon your genetics as well. When it comes to taking gear and size, it depends on genetics. You know, Ronnie Coleman was a huge guy before he even took any steroids, and so was Kai Green. Kai Green, before steroids, was a WNBF world champion. So genetics plays a whole part as far as to how much gear you have. And even no matter how much gear you actually take, quick pump, some people take a whole bunch of gear and they still look like a twig. But good question. What do I think about Dr. Rackpool fighting all these bare knuckle fighters? Yeah, it took me a while to figure out all his shtick and everything, as far as him fighting is concerned. It's pretty manly of him to do bare knuckle fighting, you know. I guess that would be what would be considered an alpha behavior. He just needs to duck a little bit more. Oh yeah, Frank Tufano hates Jews. When is Dr. Rackpool being a guest? I've been on his live streams before. I've not got it set up well enough to start doing that. It's simply due to the fact that
Estoy realmente enojado contigo, joven. Me has hecho enojar lo suficiente. Estás recibiendo algunos golpes de paleta desnudos cuando llegas a casa, chico.
Vince Goodrum, Mexican Mom, has donated $3. I can only read part of that Spanish, but other than that, sufficient for what? You'll need to translate that in English. But again, thanks for the donation. I can only really understand a little bit of Spanish. I had to work at a grocery store a long time ago. I had to clean women's restrooms. A female coworker thought I... Well, did you jump on it like Apache here, Zach? I appreciate that. I try to keep it real and tell it like it is. Like I said, I can't film in the Swordfish Club. But I thought I'd give a little bit of a 15-minute video of it. It is highly... you can't film... You're not supposed to film in the Swordfish Club. So I definitely wasn't going to do a live, but thought I'd give a little bit of taste there. Does garlic make you stink? If you eat too much of it, yes. It will make your breath stink. But it is good for you, at least. Well, it doesn't matter what policy is. If a girl likes you and you like her, you know, Apache, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. Kimosabe, jump on it, jump on it, jump on it. Hit it and split it next time. Hit it and split it. Well, yes, garlic is good for you. I hate RuPaul. I've hated RuPaul ever since she made fun of Milton Berle. I like Uncle Milton. There was no reason what she did to him on the MTV Awards. Shirts will be out in about a month or two. Be a good way to bring a little bit of money into the stream. You know, I've actually asked Richard for some advice there, Pugman, on my stream. You know what kind of response I got? Nothing. Richard only responds whenever it's suitable to him, in my opinion. What are my thoughts on Big Lenny? He needs to take better care of himself. I think Boogie would win in a fight. Would I ever work? I have worked out in my yard before, Justin. I did that a lot in my apartment. There's a lot of good outdoor workouts. I've also worked out at a basketball court. Sometimes it's good to get some fresh air. Well, I'll turn the volume down in about 10 minutes when the show ends. Well, as far as you can listen to all his videos, Scat Man, I mean, he's blatantly anti-Semitic. And it's pretty bad, too. He believes in world conspiracy theories and stuff. Well, I mean, you got a volume switch on your phone or so forth, but I have a very deep voice, and it's getting a lot deeper now that I'm taking gear. I don't know who PKA is here. I prefer monogamy. Polygamy, that's just too much to deal with, you know. You gotta deal with 2 screaming women or 2 screaming men, you know. I know I have a couple gay friends that are in multi-relationships here, you know, and stuff. It works for them. It definitely wouldn't work with me. I don't know what the Baldo is. Let's look up Baldo. I don't know what a Baldo is. Well, now I know. Ew. What's going on, everybody? I think that would be a good catchphrase on a shirt. Have I ever filmed with a shoe cam? No. I've never even had a shoe cam before. It's possible. He did a video a long time ago that was that was a parody of Elliot Rodgers. He got into a lot of trouble. He got a community strike for it. Wendy Williams is too woke. I don't like her. John Morovies. Let's copy that down here and see. I've heard that name before. I was meaning to. Hold on a minute. I know what I was supposed to do with that person. Still not familiar with him there. And he's not coming up on any streams. He must go by a different name. I think so. I think you mentioned that to me a while back, or it could have been someone else. Like I said, there's a lot of different people out in this world and creators and all. Ice Monkey, I think Wendy Williams would try to run screaming out of the room. She does make fun of people there, but I've just never been into her or so forth. Not at all. All right, folks, we got 3 minutes left. Get your comments in if you want to throw in some Swordfish Money Club stuff there. I am down about I think I spent like $120 yesterday at the Swordfish. Oh, I would ship all with t-shirts there, Joel. I would ship all around the world. That would be easy to do. The reason being is I would set it up through like Shirt Shop or something like that, so I wouldn't have to worry about the shipping anyway. Trips, Bud Light doesn't promote trans woke lifestyle. They're just trying to get more customers here. I mean, the trans community was. Here's the thing, and I'm going to give you a little story. The reason why they serve no Miller Lite at gay clubs there is Miller did some really bad things to the gay community. So Miller Lite beer is generally banned at gay clubs. So that's why they have Bud Light instead. But she's not really sponsored neither. They just made some commemoratory cans, and once those are sold, that's pretty much it. But you're talking about an established group of customers, you know. And it's important for a company to attract all of their customers, not just a certain group. I don't drink Bud Light anyway because it's crappy, you know. I prefer a more elegant beer or liquor. I mean, I drink mostly liquor anyway, so I don't really drink beer. Am I pro-trans? I'm not pro anything, you know. I like people being themselves. Vince has donated $2. Thanks for tip at the Swordfish Club there. So, I think I'm at $98 left to go. But it's okay. You gotta spend a little bit there, so. Well, she's just too woke there, Ancient. I appreciate that. You have a good night, Thick Cut. I didn't know they were having a bike race trip. I've not heard anything about that. Vincinator. Nobody's ever going to make a... I'm too based. That's what someone said up here, that I'm too based to do anything. Definitely won't run for president neither. Say you're pro-trans and I'm gone. Pro-trans? I'm not pro anything. I want people to be themselves there, Scatman. You know? Who cares about the Bud Light controversy? It's a waste of time, you know? So they put some trans person on some can and does an advertisement. Big freaking deal, you know? I mean, while people are worried about that, our government is stealing money from us there. It's just a distraction, folks. Folks, don't go and take, you know, there's a red pill and blue pill that you can take in life there. Don't let the government fool you and distract you with silly things like beer and stuff, you know? I'll see you around, ZXV. Always keep your eye on the prize there, you know. Keep your eye on the prize there, you know. Rather than worry about the stuff there, take a look and see what the government is doing behind your back, you know. I like Dylan. He was good in the Book of Mormon, you know. His 365 days, in my opinion, is kind of insulting to women. But then again, he's a comedian, so, I mean, to criticize him would be, I would put him on the same level as criticizing Andrew Dice Clay. Comedians are going to do what they do. It's like me. I'm a comedian by trade there, as far as sites are concerned. And I'm going to do jokes that offend, that a lot of the gay community is offended by what I do. But I'm still going to do it because I have to be myself. I have to be true to myself, you know. So whether someone gets pissed off because I do something like that, that means I'm doing my job as a comedian, you know? Plain and simple. I have not seen Dean Malanga. Stop worrying about beer, folks, or trans, or dudes in dresses, or anything like that. You know? I'm not trying to be insulting or anything like that. I'm speaking piss trooper, you know. You know, let's not, I mean, in the Genoverse, we refer to the, you know, as dudes in the dress there. So I got to speak, we're going to speak piss trooper language on it. Okay? So, who cares about dudes in the dress? All right? So waste of time. Our government is stealing money from us and we're worried about some freaking who's on a can of Bud Light. I mean, the government's stealing from us, folks. Pugman, I don't know when the sunflowers are coming there. Like I said, it's not just sunflowers, it's a lot of other things. But you'll be the first to you'll be the first to know about these sunflowers. I have them marked on a wait list. You see, with my supplier, I have a special system in place to where I can set it up to where they automatically contact me when a certain product is in. And I have that on there for both. When you emailed me, I went ahead and put that down for you. But folks, it is actually 12:03. And that is the end of the show. I want to thank Pugman. I want to thank Vince Goodrum's mom, Andrew Insomniac, Jolting or Jolington. I keep butchering your name. Basically, I want to thank everyone for not only donating, but just joining me in for the show, hanging out with me as always while I have a cigar. Scatman, transgender people have been around for thousands of years. Again, worry about the government stealing money from you than some dudes in a dress. You're going to be just fine. But as always, folks, thanks again for joining me in the show. Midnight Run. I may do another video tomorrow. And as always, everybody,